their date and share a kiss. Larry says he doesn't care where they go as long as they are together. At that moment, Luke shows up with the coordinators to tell Joan that Larry broke into his room. He also gives her the letter, and now Joan knows that Larry almost left. He only stayed because he saw her on his way out. Yet another argument begins and Joan calls Larry selfish. In return, Larry says that he's always been Joan's consolation prize and accuses Luke of a few things to try to make him look bad. Luke screams in frustration and admits he's had a few lovers over the last 67 years, but at least he waited for her. The men want her to make a decision now, but Joan needs more time, so the coordinators take them away. Moments later, Karen visits Joan with a drink, and Joan finally breaks down. Karen comforts her and takes her out to various fun booths to distract her. Joan keeps drinking and ranting about her situation, so Karen reminds her that she's dead. That means she has no obligations to anyone and can start with a clean state. At the bar, Larry and Luke are drinking too much, which helps them get along and even bond. They compliment each other and even say that Joan doesn't deserve them. The next morning, Joan wakes up with a hangover, but she's made her decision. She calls her husbands and says she's lucky to have them both, so maybe things happen the way they were meant to. No matter who she chooses, she'll end up feeling guilty, so she announces she chooses neither of them and leaves with tears in her eyes. Afterward, Joan gets ready to leave and spend her eternity with Karen. Meanwhile, Larry tells Luke that he was right. He proposed on the dock because Luke always was the ghost he couldn't compete with. He wonders if he choked on the pretzel because he saw the wedding picture. In return, Luke admits he's very jealous of the life Larry built with Joan. The guys then share why their bodies chose these forms. Luke looks like the day he and Joan discussed starting a family, while Larry looks like the time Joan was pregnant with her second child. Suddenly, Larry realizes something and rushes out of the room. At the station, Larry finds Joan in the train and asks her to get off for a final talk. He points out that her hair is long, but she always wore it short during their marriage. That means she was the happiest with Luke, so he wants her to go with him. At first, Joan denies it, but Larry insists it's the right thing. They both cry as they share their last hug. Sometime later, Luke and Joan are on a train to their eternity. Larry is wandering the junction because he still doesn't know where to go and discovers that Anna and Ryan are back together. Anna talks to Larry in private and tells him she's proud of him. She explains that she chose to stay in the junction because helping lost souls gave her purpose, and Larry helped her remember why she loves this job. In the mountain's eternity, Joan and Luke start a new life together. They have fun on dates and befriend other souls. In the evening, they finally get to be naughty. After Luke falls asleep, Joan starts feeling some doubts and decides to visit the archives, where she watches the memory of the day she met Larry. During the next few days, Luke keeps taking Joan on all kinds of activities with other souls, but Joan doesn't have a good time. Every night, she visits the archives and revisits more of her memories with Larry. The archives clerk tells her it's not healthy to spend so much time there and that it's important to move on. One night, Luke says that this is truly the perfect life, and Joan doesn't know what to answer. The next morning, Luke announces he's booked another activity and Joan finally breaks down. She says she made a mistake by choosing him, causing Luke to get angry and start yelling. Joan explains that she was the happiest with him because it was young, foolish love without the burden of mortgage, jobs, and kids. However, love is supposed to be more than that. It should include the bad moments too. She also thinks that Luke is in love with a Joan from 67 years ago and never moved on, but she's changed and isn't the same person anymore. Joan then announces she'll try to go back, even if it means risking getting caught. She cries as she tells Luke she did love him, but he walks away. Some hours later, Joan is trying to make a plan to escape while practicing with a knife. After thinking a lot about the situation, Luke comes back and agrees to be her distraction. The duo goes to the archives and Luke pretends to have a breakdown in front of the clerk. While the man comforts him, Joan sneaks inside. Then Luke also goes in as a normal client. He and Joan watch their wedding memory and say a final goodbye. Joan sneaks behind the memory and goes through the red door, which takes her to a corridor with her childhood memories. At that moment, she hears the alarm and the guards coming, so she runs until she finds a door in the memory of two soldiers informing her of Luke's death. A washing machine door drops her into a memory of her arguing with Larry. The guards are still coming, so Joan blocks the door with a chair and rushes upstairs, where she finds her old self. Old Joan says Larry's name before young Joan tries to hide under the bed. The guards are behind her, but she keeps on crawling until she appears on the train tracks. By walking down the tunnel, Joan manages to return to the junction. She tries to ask the receptionist about Larry, but at that moment she receives a wanted sign and Joan has to run again. In the booth area, she bumps into Ryan and Anna, who make her hide and tell the guards she went in the opposite direction. Then she asks them what eternity Larry went to. However, the coordinators shock her with the answer. In the bar, Joan finds Larry working as a bartender. They share a drink and Joan asks Larry to come with her, but she warns him it may be dangerous because she's a fugitive. Larry agrees to do it anyway. Moments later, the couple is in an eternity that copies the neighborhood they lived in during their entire married life.
Please subscribe our channel and hit on bell icon. Hope you are enjoying. Thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe.